Yeah, we would. It gets fun after that. Sure. They want to do it. Well, good. Hard look. Yeah. I think you do. That was what you put it down there, but it's like.
Yeah, we thought it'd be right. They're like, no.
Yeah.
We're getting.
I don't go down. I don't get down.
Okay, everybody, it's 10 o'clock. I'm calling the public meeting to order at 10 a.m. on March 21st. Would everybody please stand for the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. I'll have John do a short presentation, and then we're going to have public comment. I'd appreciate it if you raise your hand, stand, so we know who's speaking. So when a reporter listens to this, you know who's who. And
Nice if they say their name.
yeah, and say your name, please. Okay, John, do you want to just give us a brief oversight on this, what it is?
Yeah, okay. For you guys, some know you know I'm John Patterson. So first thing I'm gonna tell you is this isn't happening next weekend. This is not etched in stone. Nothing is permanent here. It's an idea. And Rebecca's gonna read the new thing. We changed the name from National Rec Area because that was the bad thing. So it's now the Elkhorn Multiple Use Lands, which is just the forest. Or we could call it Multiple Use Lands of the Elkhorns, and it would abbreviated MULE. I kind of like that one better myself. But anyway, so Rebecca's gonna read this and then we'll talk. Go ahead, Boo.
Okay, so the Elkhorn multiple use land would be a permanent motorized area that will be proposed near and surrounding Sumter. The area will maintain all of the elements of multiple use, yet allow for motorized access and recreation, even if a future travel management plan were to limit vehicular access. The multiple use land refers to public lands managed for commercial activities like logging, mining, and grazing, ATV and motorized vehicle use, whereas wilderness is managed solely for preservation. The United States Forest Service multiple use land in Oregon refers to National Forest System lands managed under the Multiple Use Sustained Yield Act of 1960 to balance various, often competing uses, including outdoor recreation, range, timber, watershed, mining, and wildlife and fish without permanent impairment of productivity. It coordinates resources for the best interest of the public, ensuring sustainability. Key aspects of the USFS multiple use land in Oregon, the core principles are management aims to meet present and future needs without reducing land productivity or exhausting resources. Its primary uses are mandated uses to include outdoor recreation, livestock grazing range, timber harvesting, mining, watershed protection, and wildlife fish habitat management. Balance over maximum return. It does not necessarily mean the combination of uses that gives the highest dollar return, but the best mix for public benefit. Its application in Oregon, this involves coordinating activities like hiking, skiing, grazing, and logging and mining while protecting water quality and habitat. The proposed area encloses approximately 1.2 million acres of varying mountain ranges, valleys, forests, waterways, and rangelands. It changes in elevation from 2,951 feet to 8,497 feet. Roughly half lies in Baker County and the other half in Grant County. To create the Elkhorn multiple use land, the Forest Service follows a structured process that coordinates with other purposes of the project and the recreation of the area as a whole. The process aims to provide public outdoor recreation benefits, conserve scenic, scientific, historic, and other values contributing to public enjoyment, and manage, utilize, and dispose of renewable natural resources that promote or are compatible with public recreation and conservation. The first part of the process is to gather public support, which we are doing today, including support from communities, counties, user groups, and general public. Public input will be used by the Forest Service to gauge how much support there is for the project. Baker County's recreation and tourism are driving factors in our economy. An established permanent area like the Elkhorn multiple use land would provide additional revenues and protect it for use for future generations. We would appreciate your support on this endeavor.
Okay, so what she just read you is basically a bunch of definitions out of the Forest Service's literature, you know, describing what a multiple use land is. That's a lot of that body of that was. So the area that I penciled off, and like I said, it's not etched in stone. It's just, this is our third meeting here, and we met me and Christina, Rebecca, and Donnie met with the Forest Service 2 months ago. We were gonna do it last year, but President Trump laid them off. So, so we had to wait till we get back. We're gonna get caught up, and we went 2 months ago and met them in January. And I talked to Sean about this 2 years ago when we had the letters going around. We got 468 up here that year. And he came up and was watching what we were doing at Trail Fest, and I told him, you know, this is where we want to make it. It's basically Marble Pass. Where's Sumter up there? Can't see it. Anyway, Marble Pass around what I call our side of the Elkhorn Rim. Okay, above Granite, Olive Lake, down in towards Prairie City, which, you know, you got the farm fields and stuff. So I don't know. I haven't really looked into that yet. I took it clear over to Highway 395 by Ritter, and then it comes down. It catches the Unity OHV Park, goes back up to the north end of the lake to Marble Creek Road, and goes back up to Marble Creek. That's what this does. And there's a little bit of wilderness right in here. That's not, I don't know why it's not here. There's a little bit of wilderness right here. You can go. I think that's the road up to Marble Lake, the lake, Olive Lake up there, is why that's not in wilderness. But what they're wanting to do is they say right now they're saying there's not travel. The reason we're doing this right now is because I feel myself, this is our best opportunity we're ever going to have with Trump in office right now. We've got 3 years and the clock's ticking. So there'll be a lot of public meetings. There'll be a lot of stuff, but we have to get started somewhere with letters of support. And then we can start moving forward. I want to we met with Jay Moore and Jeremy Ajero. They're the ATV guys, and they didn't say no. They did our no, ain't never worked. They didn't say that. They said we need to get support from the community to see what the community wants to do. I think when Trump's out, whoever comes behind him they could just auto pin everything away. We're right back to fighting them for our land, for fighting travel management again. That's what I think's gonna happen. Right now they're saying, oh, we're not doing travel management. But then we have ODFW closed with green dots. And it's not so much prevalent up here, but it's in other areas. Cabin Creek, Wolf Creek, other areas. Correct me if I'm wrong. Christine.
We have 9 in the county.
In here?
Nine green dots in it.
Yeah.
County, and it's the highest out of all the counties on the east side.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I just haven't ran into them. But I have in the other places. So anyway, that's what we want to do. I mean, moving forward, the big dream would be to do a Elkhorn Mountain Trail Authority. And the way we'd fund it, somebody asked me online last night how we'd fund it, with tags. Sell tags, to ride in this area, and then we'd have a crew to maintain the trails. Not go up there with the grade and rock or anything at first, I think, but to just to maintain the trails, so the great big tank trap holes are gone, stuff like that. Make it easy to ride. But what we're doing when we change the name, we don't want anybody excluded from this. Mining, logging, grazing, all of it. And if some, they're already talking about logging around, what is it? Where are they logging? Austin project. They're talking about logging there. So if they wanted to log in this area, then we just shut it down. You can't ride there until they're done logging. Cause then you can ride there for 40 years and they won't be logging once they logged.
Well,
You know.
your loggers are gonna get,
Yeah. But once they're done logging that area, it'll be open for 40 years before they can log it again, really. 30. So, and mining the same way. I would say if there's a bait mining operation, you stay away from it. That's just common sense. If it's little weekend guys, they can mine while we ride by or whatever. But it's basically just a permanent motorized area like we all grew up with. And when they come back and hit us with travel management, we keep this area open. It's 1.2 million acres. And right now, on Wild Wetland, there's only 600,000 acres of wilderness. There's 4.5 million in the whole US, which probably most of it is out here, you know, where the federal lands are. Wyndham Fraser, over there by Ukiah, that's 150,000 acres, and it's a dust pit. Way too much use on that one. They have 2 tracks, and it's just, it's not big enough. This is plenty big enough, I think. I mean, we're doing it now. And I'm sure you'd see increased people coming here. People are coming here more often because they've been displaced out of their own forest with travel management, so they can't ride there. So they look for a place to ride. During Trail Fest, we have people from 5 to 8 states show up every year. Every year. And, you know, so, and some people don't come, you know, they've done 2 or 3 years, they do something else, and somebody new pops right in their spot. So,
Okay, John, why don't we take see if somebody has some questions. Why don't we see if somebody has questions for you or?
yeah, anybody?
Okay,
Ron?
So is it a travel management
No,
area?
no. That's, some people are trying to call it travel management. It's not travel management.
So it's a recreational?
No, it's just an open, multiple use area.
Okay,
That's-
so
It's
not
just like when the forests were when you were 10. You
okay.
can drive in there, you can ride
So
in,
it
you can walk, you
won't be
can mine.
zoned or designated recreational?
Nope, we took that out.
Okay,
Yeah, and using the multiple use land, we're trying to lock it in permanently as it is right now.
okay.
Or better. I mean, there's a lot of closed roads that if we could get this done, I'd try and get them open again and give us more areas to ride.
So it wouldn't change. You wouldn't need a special zoning permit if this is done. Let's say if the E&E project was to go, the E&E mark, they won't have to get any new special permits more than what they have to do now, or anybody.
No. Mike?
can you stand up? Yeah, there we go. I can see you, Mike, back there.
I agree with everything that John is saying. We had some exchange about get support from OSSA. We think we got that rectified. We'll have to wait and see. Sean McKinney came to the FAPA meeting first Saturday of the month, and I was quite surprised at what he said. One of the things that there will be no new wilderness designations. The closed trails that they said that were reopened in the Austin project, they changed the word of closed trails, and it probably ties in with travel management to stored trails. Meaning they're not permanently closed, meaning that they could be open later on down the road. Many of you maybe have talked with Sean McKinney. sometimes he speaks with forked tongue, but that's what he says now. I think this would be a great idea if it panned out the way we want it to pan out. So I might have some more later.
Okay. thank you,
Anybody else got a question?
John. Comments?
I got one. Who controls all this?
That would be, well, the Forest Service is their property, but if you could establish a trail authority and they could work with you, then I would say it would be the trail authority managing the writing of stuff, but it's still the government's property. It's not, not giving it to us or nothing.
They're supposed to be maintaining those roads anyway, and they don't.
That's the biggest problem with the roads in the United States forest is they haven't been maintained for 45 years. That's the problem. It's not the writing. ATV weighs a quarter of what a 3/4 ton pickup weighs. It's not, ATVs aren't hard. Okay, the guys that sit there and dig, or climb up the hills, I'm not for that at all. You stay on the trail, stay on the road, you do that stupid shit, and here comes environmentalists. And that's all there is to it. It's just like when I was, I don't know, 20 or something, I was driving down I-5 and I was 20, I was older, but I've been running a log yard for years in North Powder, and I'm driving down I-5 going, no wonder they're pissed off, because it was stumps, or there might be trees up to the top of the hill, and you can tell there's nothing back there for 5 miles. But on that side of the state, they have to clear cut. There's so much undergrowth, they have to do it. But in 5 years, you gotta find a new place to run because it's so overgrown again. But when you do that kind of stuff, you're just asking for trouble. If you stay on those roads and trails and and I mean, if you kill a bull elk, if the wolves left one, you could, I think you should go up and get it. But just going up there right off the trails, no, you're just asking for problems.
Okay, the Willow Whitman and the town here are open for, so you can cross-country travel if you want to.
Yeah.
It's not up to anybody else or any environmentalist. If there's a tank trap, you can go around it because we are on an open forest. They shouldn't be tank trapping. They should be letting it close on its own if it's not used, or stay open on its own if it is used. Just to clarify the no new wilderness, that's part of the Blue Mountain Forest Plan revision right now, and there's 3 alternatives that are going to be coming forward. One of them is to just do nothing and stay with the 1990. The second alternative is everything that I have been involved in with the forest and the team and all that, building the new plan. There is a lot that they have listened to on that one, and that Donnie Rulin, Natural Resource Director for Baker County, and I have gone through multiple times and commented on and all of that. They've listened on alternative 2. Is it perfect? No, it's not. But it states in alternative 2, no new wilderness. Alternative 3 would be new wilderness. Now, all 3 forests the supervisor said that they don't want new wilderness. So those are 3 alternatives though that are gonna be out there for comment, and it depends upon what everybody says. A lot of those comments aren't coming from our county, they're coming from far, far away. People just don't want us on the landscape, so. And then to the point of your map over there, if you can get support from Prairie City or way down into Prairie City,
Yeah.
I think that would be great. I think it's great right now for the Unity Run, to get over there in Austin Junction and all of that. So if you can continue and connect with that, then that's a great thing. And then I want Donnie to talk about the Austin project because she just submitted comments for that, and we were over at the John Day meeting with the now here for us. Sean can say whatever, but Ann Neeson is the supervisor over there for that one.
So on the Austin project, they came to a real quick conclusion that the word stored or storage in reference to roads doesn't work with the public. I asked for a definition. So you went back to using ML1, that's maintenance level 1 roads. So those are minimally maintained roads. So they aren't using the word stored or storage anymore for roads. So I thought that was a pretty good win for that. Within the Austin plan too, they're also gonna be harvesting trees larger than a 21-inch DBH. They have to do an amendment to the plan to do that. So it's kind of setting aside those east side screens we've been dealing with. So that's pretty darn awesome too. We are fighting them on the corridors. They want to leave a strip down through there as a wildlife corridor. All I see is a really great ignition strip that has all sorts of forest stuff still in there that we don't need to, will just burn fast and hot.
Fire corridor.
It's a fire corridor.
Exactly.
And then to what Marcia said, the two Forest Service gentlemen that we met with were most encouraging about if we could establish a trail authority for this area, then those funds are going to this area only. We're not waiting for a little bit of something to be dribbled out this way to maintain trails.
Yeah,
Right, and that was Ranger Jeremy Agero and Jay Moore, who is the recreation manager.
Jay Ranger?
Yeah, yeah, Jeremy
I
is a
didn't know that.
ranger.
Okay. I thought it was
So-
you guys.
Yeah, he's a ranger. And the more that you involve them in your event and let them open their eyes to what you're running out there, how you're running it, how you're taking care of it, if you're opening up the trails, whatever you're doing, the more you involve them, the better relationship you have to get things,
Yes,
you know.
and so, but it starts with, do you want it? If you don't want it, I'm not wasting my time. I got better things to do. But I think this is extremely important because we can save this area. And I think that's the highest use area of anybody that comes in over to this area. Ron, do you think? I mean, that's a big area.
The only concern I have, it'll keep it the way it is as far as all uses. All uses, logging,
That's what we're trying to do.
camping.
Yep.
It won't
Motorized
do
use.
that. It keeps it the way it is.
Yeah.
Basically.
And I don't know if
So
we can
the-
approach this as some kind of a preserve of the 70s or something, you know, and call it something else. We're maintaining a little bit of that life, you know, where everybody else is doing, you know, letting trees grow and running the forest off.
So in all honesty, the county loves this as a project. In my perfect world, we would do this for the entire Baker County. We do not have the congressional support in Washington DC to pull it off right now. Otherwise, we'd be going for this for the whole county, just back off, leave us open and let us go.
And we've had that petition going around. I'm gonna keep it going till after Trail Fest till June. We're at 2,300, which is pretty good. To get 2,300 people to sign the petition, that's pretty good. And that's paper and online together.
Yes, our name's Carl McGill, live in Baker. I worked for the Forest Service for 30 years. And I was pre-sale soup when they put the 21-inch restriction on timber in place. We were Prineville, the boys from the regional office came down, and we bet them $100. They said 18 months. One guy said, I got $100. I guarantee you it's gonna last longer than that. And how long does it last? And this is wait, and I retired 20 years ago. But the Forest Service, I think is, how much communication do we have with the forest soup? And we know they change, and when they change, the philosophies change when they come in, allow it. So my question is, and I know you're coordinating these people, but is that something, one of my concerns is that we can do forest soup, and I knew one of them, and he wanted, get rid of all the road access. I did, and I talked to him about it personally, but that's one of my questions. And I know you're talking about keeping the forest soups in the loop, but new forest soups have different ideas. So that's another thing. You're talking about Trump, and I'm a Trump fan. I won't disagree with that. Well, deny that. But we got to make sure the forest soups are on board also, because that's a big push in the Forest Service. I mean, like I said, it's been 30 years there. Jim spent a few days there also. But like I said, it's forest soups have different ideas when they come in, and I'm not sure that you guys can deal with that.
Yeah. Glenn was here to shut it down, guaranteed. That's all he was here for.
Yeah.
Glenn. He was a guy in Portland, a regional guy
Oh,
at the college in 2018 when Chris was here. Chris, French.
But I guess the forest soup you have now, he's on board with this. We talk to him or whatever. I take it. I mean, like you're saying, you're talking to Forest Service employees. I just wonder if the forest soup has been
yes, yes.
okay. Okay, that's one of my.
Yeah, that would be Sean.
Yes.
Sean and Ann. Eric really doesn't have anything to do with this because I didn't go into the utility, because the utility is closed.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So,
No, we're fortunate over here, which is fantastic. The old school where we came from, I was on the OHV committee and they wanted to shut everything down. I mean, they wanted to.
And-
Stuff.
I don't care what anybody says, ATVs is the biggest use in the forest now. It's not logging, it's not mining, it's not grazing, it's ATVs. And so I think we have a strong crowd. I've been trying to unite the clans around the Pacific Northwest, all the ATV clubs, and I got one letter back from a guy. It's really hard to get a hold of administrators of the pages. So,
Wait,
but
and I have one other question. Now, you talked about maintenance on the roads. I prefer we don't do any maintenance on the roads. I mean, I retired 20 years ago. We still had a road crew. Back then it was three men that worked the road crew. So we had, and I was road manager when I left the Forest Service. It was hard to get roads maintained then. I prefer we don't do much maintenance. The less maintenance we do, the less assets we have, when people, we may not want out there, just run all over the countryside. So that's another restriction. I know you talked about some maintenance. I just like to know what that level is or what you're talking about.
well, there's holes up there you can get lost in. Out there, right? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, how this all started was I posted a picture in probably 2021 or something after the first Trail Fest, before it, I don't know. And one of the local ladies, that's not Sumter, and I thought, well, I wonder where that is. And I started looking, because they're just right downtown. It's Gilbert, West Virginia. Look it up. Gilbert, West Virginia is our sister town. It just didn't burn down. It's just a little teeny town that was dying. And I read an article with the mayor. I've talked to City Hall, talked to Trail Authority, talked to a lot of them, talked to Ty Harness runs the national, and they have National Trail Fest. And it ain't gonna happen here. Don't get afraid now. But they have 5,000 machines show up for a week, and they do everything. I mean, anything under the sun, they do shit. And the rest of the year, where they ride is the Hatfield-McCoy trails, the old trail system that they rode on horses back in the day. And they have the Hatfield-McCoy Trail Authorities. And their budget is $5 million a year. And he says, we get $1 million from taxpayers, from a budget. And the other rest of the money comes from tags. And he goes, we don't even need the taxpayers anymore. The tags pay for the maintenance. And if they're within a quarter of a mile of the highway, they punch out to it and they pave it. That's how big it is back there. And on the trails, you can get gas, you can get food, you can get lodging, just riding the trails around. I mean, it's pretty cool, but it's a big, huge deal back there. And I think it could be here, but not, it's gonna take a lot of doing it. There's a lot more population back there too. So that's why they get that many people, but they get people from other countries to go to that one. So it's huge, but that's kind of what I'm looking at Trail Authority. That's what I think we could do, is manage the trails, just maintain where, go up there in the spring and clear them and cut them to the outside edge of the road instead of just big enough to get because if it's torque Ballard, he's only gonna cut it 42 inches. So he don't like side by sides.
Yeah.
So he'll cut it 42 inches and put a T on the end, but that's pretty much Ballard.
We're home to 64 at least, okay?
But so just that kind of trail maintenance, we're not gonna go out building, grading new roads and blah, blah, it's just maintaining it so it's a better ride and it's not, trees down and stuff like that.
So why do we have we already currently pay a sticker, OHV sticker, is that what they call them?
Because
So
they fought.
we're gonna be double paying
Yeah.
it.
You'd have to pay, or just ride Sumter. But, it's kind of like you want to pay $50 a year or something to ride up here. And that would encourage you to ride more, I think, I don't know. Or in 6 or 8 years, not have anywhere to ride. That's what I'm looking at.
See, now I've been involved in motorcycle desert racing and the side-by-sides for 48 years. And in Central Oregon, we had this problem. They kept putting a mass amount of people into one area, and the roads just got so whooped and so bad, and the accident rate went up. I mean, they've shut down the Klein Buttes, they shut down Four Corners, Milliken Valley. You pour so many population in from one section.
Yeah,
And it gets really tore up.
yes, and that's big, but we're getting more and more all the time. And it's It's not hurting, and I'm really proud to say, we've not had one incident. The only wreck that I know of was the first year, and it was some people weren't even with us,
Right.
you know, and they did something stupid. Grandpa and grandma and a little kid on a quad, well, you know, anyway, what?
And part of that condensation of people here is because they're already closing other areas down.
Yeah.
It is just going.
Moab has lost like, what, 60% of their riding in one shot, and so is another big desert in California.
But see, that's what
So-
they do. They come in and they'll tear up our forest. You beat up so bad, so many whoops, that then they say, okay, I'm done riding that, and they find another place. They kind of move around and destroy certain areas. They've done it in Central Oregon really bad, and you'll see a lot of them coming over here now. They're just not worth riding. I mean, you gotta go like this all day.
Where's that? The
Central
dunes?
Oregon, yeah, no,
Yeah.
over in Central Oregon,
Oh.
Milliken Valley, all of that. It's just hammered.
Yeah.
Cause then nobody goes out and smooths anything out.
That's the maintenance right there. It's just keeping them. Yeah, and the guys back east, they have a two-man crew, a guy and a cat, like probably a D3 or something. Guy and a cat, and a guy on the ground, and that's their crew. And they go along, put up the cone, people slow down, go around and whatever, don't go down that road, I don't know while they're maintaining it, and then they move on. But I don't know how many crews that he has, but it sounded like a, you know, because there's a lot of miles in that one. And, you know, it's just, I mean, that would be the big dream, but, just sitting here waiting for government to do something is not, we're on the offense here. Okay, FAFA's on the defense. FAFA waits for them to say something and then they react. We're on the offense. I wanna just keep taking it to them, taking it to them. The first guy says no, we go above him. The next guy says no, we go above him. Till we get to somebody who can make a decision without, I don't wanna get in trouble. Justin?
Yeah, Justin Long. I agree with you what you just said, that, you know, about being on the offense. And, you know, if we don't do something, the people are gonna come that you're concerned of, Marshall. It's gonna happen irrelevant. The outcome of that is what we're talking about. Either we get shut down consequently, or we have management in the front end of things like John's.
But everybody's going on the assumption that we will get closed down. This has been going on for I'm just trying to look at all.
Well, if you
angles.
look at the map, there's only 2 of us left in the country, right?
Yeah,
Well, if you're trying to eradicate something, it's pretty easy to see where the map is going.
who's
That's my-
gonna be the ticket police?
Well, I
The
think,
monitor.
I would think Forest
up
Service.
there.
I think there's probably lots of details to be worked out.
Just having some big signs, you have to have this going there, or it's some violent Forest Service, maybe, I don't know. We'll have to work with the Forest Service, which I'm not,
Yeah.
I've worked with them for 20 years.
So John.
And all the local people don't want the roads closed, let's let you know that. Most of the local people that grew up in Eastern Oregon do not want the roads closed any more than we do.
Absolutely.
They wanted to work for the Forest Service so they could be outside in the mountains.
So
One of the
John-
problems with licensing snowmobiles and quads and side by side, many people do not go ride anywhere. And that's gonna be a problem, so.
Go ride.
Licensing.
Licensing for the vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
They go ride anywhere. We don't have enough law enforcement to police, and they will not, Forest Service will not police.
So maybe a fee system based off of his events or something like that to start with, or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, even the sheriff could do it, really, he's got ATV money in his budget.
He does,
So
but they
he
don't
can,
have the people to enforce it. And that's gonna be an issue, and if you're gonna have to have a permit to go ride the area, how many entryways are you gonna have in that area? And how are you gonna control
Yeah, I know.
that beach?
it's just,
That's an issue. Yeah,
it's all good questions, you know what I mean? It's,
and that's what we run into right now, just licensing.
because somebody could drive up to Whitney and jump in and go.
Yeah.
So,
And I am not in favor of heavy policing on our forests. I don't believe that we need. to
I don't
police that
either,
stuff.
but
And when it
Yeah.
comes to the maintenance too, you can't just go out there with a grader or whatever equipment and start working on forest roads. They will not allow you to.
Yes.
So that kind of stuff, even with our Jeep group, we tried this to help on the North Powder on the Baker side to do some of that. And they said, nope, you guys aren't a big insured group like this snowmobile club is under a big umbrella, so you have to make those connection and really look at maintenance realistically. They're not gonna let you do a lot unless you have that.
They do, and you tell that Brennan Fraser. That,
Well, yeah. but
that
I'm
group,
saying-
they give them equipment to run, they train them, whatever Forest Service training is, so that's what
Yeah,
Jeremy, no. Guy from the Grand. Matt, maybe, I can't remember, but he said, oh yeah, we could do that, cause we were talking about replacing the bridge at, over the little swamp there at, Austin House.
now the county has helped several areas on the forest. The county can
Yeah,
step in and do that partnership with the user groups assisting as well. That can happen, but I haven't heard of it.
the way I see it, Christina, would be, we'd identify bad spots, say we need to fix this. And talk to them and get approval from them to go fix it. That's how it's,
And the more they're out there with you guys on your events and everything, the more they know, the Forest Service. Cause it's amazing how many times a lot of them will talk about an area and they haven't even been there.
if there isn't a whole bunch of, if there's a lot of support and not a lot of unsupport, whatever. I'm gonna try and get the Forest Service to be right there at the corner of my gate with a little pop-up tent for Trail Fest to let people go over and talk to them and say, this is what we want, just talk to them.
Yeah.
And I'll tell them, mind your manners, don't be yelling, don't be getting all mean, just go talk to them, tell them you want this open, you want to be able to ride, and they'll listen. I think Jeremy and Jay would.
Yeah.
They seem. But that's, it's an idea, we gotta get support, we gotta get going, and then we can find the fine details, of where you're riding.
One more question on your map. Is there any chance you guys can get some better reference points to your map where this is at? I mean, it's pretty just kind of sets out there, no man's land. I mean, I know some.
Well,
That follows highways.
Well, yeah.
it's roads I followed on Onyx is all it is. And that's why I said it's not set in stone.
I'm just saying, if you put more reference points for people to see where it's at,
Yeah.
'cause a lot of people like,
You know where Marble Pass is?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, Marble Pass around the Elkhorn Rim above Olive Lake.
Yeah.
Catches granite greenhorn.
Well, if nothing else, you put Marble Pass on there, some kind of.
Well,
I'm just saying, it's people like,
Yeah, cause you
Yeah,
can't read
that's
it on
quick
print.
visual.
we just.
Yeah.
you can't read that.
I mean, I'm just saying, a little more reference points, people have to know where it's at.
Anyway,
So John, at what point are we in this project? Assuming you get all the support you need,
then
what's the timeframe?
I think we would, 3 years. I think we would meet with, we've met with NRAC. And I think it's 50-50, I think. And we've met with, the Forest Service. And we've met, who else did we meet with? Oh, here, so the council's twice, so the next thing is get letters of support from people and go to the Forest to arrange a meeting with somebody, hopefully higher up, and just see how we can make it keep going. Sean, when I talked to Sean 2 years ago, he goes, oh, that's really a good idea. And I went, oh, okay, well, let's start thinking about this. And,
Yeah, I touched on it with him. I went up and checked out some of the work that started on the watershed here last month and talked to them about it while we were going up to that. And then the 10th, 11th, and 12th, the Jeep run will be here in town. And the night of the 11th, come to the bonfire next to Ron and talk to everybody about it as well.
and
there.
what, and locked and loaded, or
Yeah.
somebody else coming?
No, it does.
Okay,
It is locked
okay.
open. So, yeah, when we're
And-
here.
I wouldn't be here.
Community breakfast in the morning on the 11th.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here if Christina and Donnie didn't say this could quite happen, it could happen, we could do this. It's doable. Or else I wouldn't be standing here, and they probably wouldn't be here wasting their time on a Saturday if they didn't think there's any chance of hell this happening, would you?
So get signatures from everybody that agrees with it today and keep that and add to it,
You have something to sign now, I have to.
Got some more sign-in sheets, that's all we need.
Oh, I'm signing sheet.
Well,
We'll do it.
if we sign, do a sign-in sheet and just say it's for support for the mule,
Mule, I like that.
it's either mule or camel.
Okay, okay, guys.
Oh, wait a minute. We got a question from the mayor of Greenhorn, I forgot, got my phone. See,
The new name.
no, she couldn't get on, she couldn't go on, so she said she'd text me if she had a question. Oh, she was not given access to the meeting.
It's open access.
Oh. She said she gave it 30 minutes, was not given access to any of your recap, so.
Did you get wrong now?
Well, she might be waiting.
How's Granite feel about it?
Hasn't heard too much yet, but it probably needs to be presented at
I thought
the
Granite.
council as well. I'll find out.
Gary.
John,
Okay, guys.
John entered the waiting
Has
room.
anybody else got any other questions?
There's a sheet out there.
Okay,
I have one more for me. Talked about logging areas and, those areas are not closed to the public when they're logging, so I hope we don't put any restrictions on this thing at all, that we restrict people when they're logging those areas or mining, because it's open access even when it's logging.
Yeah, but then there's the safety access. Somebody falling a tree across the road on an ATV probably wouldn't go over too well.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, I spent 20-some years in timber, and we couldn't close roads because they were logging. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just if they're logging in there, you close the road and say, stay out of that area.
Can't close the road. I'm saying the Forest Service won't let you close the road.
Well, this is all new deal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We're not running on the
the
same
land
thing.
last year and year before shut down and put on roads with
It's not a closed road, it's a temporary closure.
I'm
Let's
just
call it
saying,
that. It's a temporary closure while they do their
Well,
work.
unless it's changed in 20 years, we couldn't close the roads. If you wanted to go, you could go through. It's like your, you had to be careful and stuff, but we couldn't close the road down.
Yeah,
And we just
no,
put
no, no.
logging
Yeah.
activity ahead.
Now,
Yeah.
last year, Empire Gulch area.
You'll
they
be
did
waiting
close
in a
for
waiting
one,
room
you know,
until you-
There was closure, absolutely. And we thought, well, no, they can't. And we went up there and there was a machine across the road, but okay, they did.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying,
It's just, it's common sense.
well, I understand that. I understand that, yeah.
Sounds like he
But,
was
you know,
So,
So, and John,
Jim,
currently, the forest plan allows us to do what we're currently doing, right? You can open
I'd
forest.
be willing to say
going
step
on road.
in office.
I'm just saying, currently, the forest plan allows us to do what we're doing.
Yes.
And so, are you, in this group, what you're trying to do, I think, just to keep it the way that it is?
Yes.
And so. How are you, so really, other than having support of the Forest Service and the user groups and that type of stuff. The only thing you're really wanting to do is create this trail authority area out here, or, what's the,
The riding
in
area.
all reality, we can already do that until
No,
that changes.
the riding area, Jim, would just be the riding area. Well, trail authority would be a separate entity, I would say, managing it.
It's declaring a permanent status for that area.
Yeah, but
So really, you just need to work with the Forest Service. I mean, you're gonna have to work with the Forest Service. They're gonna have to be, and the forest supervisor of the national forest, of that forest is gonna have to be the one like, yep, we wanna do that. They're gonna have to put it in their forest management plan that this is what we're gonna do, and we're gonna create this. And we're gonna do that with, this in mind, it seems to me like, so. I mean, it's really up to the, I think the forest supervisor and, some of these other groups here that are trying to keep the access open. And again, we currently have that access.
I think it'll go way past the forest supervisor for this.
Okay.
But,
Yeah, but you gotta have the support of that, or it's not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so,
We did that.
That's what I say. If he says no, we'll go to Portland to the regional.
but what are you gonna try, what are you actually just saying, we just want this area, or what are you actually gonna do that's gonna,
Simply put it,
Make
we're
that-
leaving it under the 1990 plan, which keeps
Yeah,
it open.
yeah, basically.
But the simple
right, which
is
is currently what we have.
what we got right now.
Exactly.
Is
So,
lots of regional area
Yeah.
under that
It
plan.
just-
Can't-
Jim, it's just keeping it the way it is now or better. If there's a lot of closed roads down in here, and I don't know why. If this becomes a motorized area, I would try and get every road open again.
Excuse me, from what I'm understanding and from what I'm hearing, in a nutshell, simply for what John is trying to do and spearheading this thing, along with Christina, is
we already know that you can ride where you're riding. What they're trying to do is hold that permanently.
Yes.
That's what they're trying to do, to where things can't get changed until somebody else takes administration and changes it.
Yeah.
But until then, it's not necessarily what they're charging for fees, what they're gonna do to the road. You gotta take all of this and put it to the side, because otherwise you get people like you, Jim, that comes in and says, we already have this, why do we want to spend more money for it? The reason why you would want to spend more money for this and support what John is doing is to hold that, to secure that, so that way they can't come back in 6 months and says, you know what, we're closing all this down and you guys lost.
And that's not what I'm saying. My point being is to get them to keep that there, you're gonna have to be on board. The four suits are gonna have to be on.
Oh,
board
yeah.
With what you're doing, and they're gonna have to wanna push that to the next level.
Yes.
And so, I mean, that's, and they can, they can do that. If they want, if that's was the highest priority in the world for them, like, hey, this is what we wanna go do, they probably could go ahead and
See,
push this through.
this is where the support comes from, the group that
Yes.
John's putting
That's
together.
what-
That's all I'm
That's
saying
what the
is that-
support does, is to go, because you are not getting rid of the US Forest Service, because they're the ones that control that.
Yeah.
That's
Hands
why
down.
I'm here for that
So-
support.
So Jim, to add perspective to the situation, to amplify what you're saying, as I understand, it, there's only 2 areas in the country that are left open like this. Everything else is main closing. So if we're not next for regulation, somebody else is, and then there's nobody left to be next. And that's just a perspective that I take.
Sure. No, I agree with you, yeah.
And we're trying to stay ahead of the 8 ball, not behind it.
Well, what we're lucky is not to allow Whittier, the people in the county and the fort, they're the ones that
Yeah.
put enough pressure on there that actually the board supervisor was great. And he said, you know what? We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna close the forest down. We're not gonna do that.
Until, like you're
And
saying.
so that was a very good thing. And so we're lucky that,
That we still
that we
have.
are there. So, valid point.
If they're not,
This will also protect against your green dot TMA areas, and
yeah.
I am working very hard on
Yes,
with
yes.
ODF&W to saying that they have to communicate with our county when they're looking at any green dot travel management area road, because that's how they've been getting through, and that's how we ended up with 9 in our county. Is there was no communication with the county, with the commissioners, with the natural resource department, and nothing. It's always been ODF&W goes to the Forest Service. They say, this is what we want to do. They check the boxes or they don't. In 23, I caught them not checking the boxes. They had it in the synopsis. They had to rescind it in the fall, too late for the synopsis. All of it was already in there, that they had closed all these areas that they actually did, and they had to rescind it because they didn't go through the process. It's just a mess, and I realized it when I came into office. So went to stay home last month, met with the director of ODF&W along with Mark Owens, Representative Owens, and told them that I want this agreement that the county has to be in the process. We have to know instead of just rolling up on another green dot area. And the director said at that point, well, there's no travel management allowed right now. And I said, I realize that. And she said, well, there's not a problem. I said, there is a problem. I need that agreement. And I need that agreement that the county is gonna be in on it, and that you're not gonna pass any without the county. So right now they have no new TMA areas, but you never know with it. So it would protect against that if we had this area.
Okay, Mike?
Yeah, just a couple of things on the trail maintenance side. I think it's a good idea. Why? Because OSSA has their whole snowmobile program, trail, union main falls under one heading. There's no budget to go out there, get a group of people to go out there in the summertime to clear trees. So it all happens when you're out sledding.
Yeah.
So any trail cleanup in the summertime is on your own dime, your
Yeah.
own POD.
Yeah.
So this would be a good thing. The budget just isn't there for us.
If we do want to get them.
The tickets are the and charge people would be greatly helpful. And you can clean trails. There's 385 miles of snowmobile trails down there.
Yeah.
In your area.
Yes, and you can fix that with OSA, that's a huge voice, and
the groomer money that you get,
Mhm.
the big dream in my mind is, we got guys to maintain it, and in the winter, if we combine funds, two people might have a permanent job. Grooming in the winter for snowmobiles, and then the trail maintenance for ATVs in the summer. And you have two full-time jobs, I believe.
Right now, because of the budget, and I won't even go into that, where it came from. We only get 1,000 miles a
Yeah.
year for grooming, and if we go to the average of 1,500 miles a year, that costs us, if we get a good snow year, it costs us another extra, out of the club and out of donations from membership, another $12,500. Right now, we're very limited on what we accumulated. But personally, I won't have to worry about it next year, but we've got limited involvement as far as donations. And the club doesn't trust OSSA to keep the money line item in their QuickBooks, so we've had to generate a line item in our club finances to keep track of it. But I don't know, I guess where I'm going with this, I don't think that some of the club would be willing to relinquish.
No, that's fine.
So,
It's just, it's an idea,
yeah,
you know, of how to get something going that's full time where you have some people that get to know the trails and want to come back every spring.
Well,
You'll have user groups.
And there's nothing that says that before fire season, a rider can't go out there with a chainsaw and do some work themselves and get them around.
That's what a lot of people do. I mean, I got a guy last year that was just rabid during Trail Fest, bitching because the people didn't cut the trees all the way to the edge of the road. I always do. Why cut it, just cut it out of the way? Well, they just cut a little. I didn't even know where it was. You know, but I get the brunt of everything, ATV, anything happens in this whole county, except for probably halfway side. They call me bitching and I'm going, we're not even doing anything right now, you know?
Well, one other good thing that a trail maintenance program as far as Recreational is concerned, OSSA, part of that grooming in their contract includes trail maintenance. And so they're concerned about breach of contract right now because they've only groomed 2,000 miles this year. So it also includes clearing trees, which we aren't funded for. Per se. So if anybody goes out there before fire season, drag a chainsaw, figure out where you are.
Yeah.
Cut the tree down, log it, and then keep track of it and then give it to the.
The Longs have donated a chainsaw every year to our event for the raffle, and people just love getting them chainsaw because both my sons ride, I don't.
It
But
allows,
both my sons ride with the chainsaw on theirs.
it allows for support of OSSA's contract.
Yeah.
So if you got it, you can get the paperwork to you and take it to the, you know, like that to,
Jenny?
Jenny Long, I was just curious on the north end, if Anthony Lakes area, or is
It's not on.
it getting to Anthony Lakes?
So that's the other side of the Elkhorn and Ram, what I like to call it.
We stayed out of it.
Yeah.
Is it because it's in a different county or?
No, it's just, you can't, can you get there?
'cause
I don't think you can get to Anthony over, if I'm lit from heaven.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you can't, the trail turns into this way.
The other consideration is, up there in the Anthony area, they're a little more non-motorized use, a little more hiking.
Yeah, it's more of a blue area. A blue spruce area.
We just tried to be respectful of that.
Yeah. There's not, I personally grew up in Anthony Lakes, there's not a lot of place to ride up there. You're just not, unless you go out Four Corners and you're heading for Wolf Creek.
Hey,
Other than
John,
that, there's really not a lot of riding up there.
John. So this is how is this going to affect like the, Elk Crest runners and some,
Well-
it's not gonna.
No, it shouldn't, I mean, if they're doing a trail, you just say, hey, they're doing a trail.
Because they're
And if
supposed
you-
to come up now,
Yeah, and people riding horses or something. What are we doing to ride horses? We just see horses run. What do we do?
I just stop.
You stop, you turn off your engine and let the horses get by. You know, it's just like saying with people, we don't have to run them over. But,
people are question,
yeah, so,
you know.
but it's just, it's something that, you know,
Okay.
I'm Cabin Creek and Wolf Creek is where I grew up, both. We parted up Cabin Creek because we lived in Union and Dad was in North Powder, so we knew Wolf Creek. Wolf Creek, our Powder Creek, Cabin Creek is, I'd say over half, probably 70% Hancock now, and Hancock's closed. If you want to go on Hancock, it's I think $300 a gun to hunt or $700 for a year camping pass. And other than that, it's locked up. So that's that much less outdoor record. That's I just feel like the stars are aligning. We got somebody in the White House that will do it, especially if we call it a Trump multiple use area. I know he'll sign that. But you know, we got somebody in the White House. We got our Secretary of Agriculture, Rick Rollins. We got Tom Schultz. This is what Tom Schultz wants. You listen to any of this podcast, this is what he's saying he wants out of the forest, is us in them recreating.
And I will take a letter from you directed to Tom Schultz on, the 8th. I will.
The 8th?
Yes, I will be over in Washington and I will take it home.
Okay,
So-
are there any other comments or questions for John on this?
Only in that, what does the board think about this?
Well, we're just kind of trying to collect it.
How are you
I
gonna talk?
mean, I look at it this way, this is a recreational, it's gonna affect the businesses more than it's not gonna help our budget or, I mean, we're not, you know, like the Elkhart runners come, they stay, they rent the grounds, you know, that brings income into the city. The ATVs and all this is really going to affect the businesses directly. You know, the restaurants, the grocery store, shop, everybody. So that's why we're here. We want to see what the community is. Now, you all are here, but you know that there's 50% of people out there that you never see that won't give us any comment. So, I mean, this is why we've had so many meetings, is to try to get more people. I mean, I'm not against it, but we need to figure out how it's gonna be managed, you know, and if we're gonna have to put money into it, or, you know, this is why we're all here. To figure out what the plan is.
Yeah, and that's the stuff I think we'd figure it out later as we go.
It's just a
First, we
plan.
have to have support to move
I mean, the
forward.
ATVs the ATVs aren't gonna go away. We all know, I mean, we all have them, and it's just, for me, my side is, how's it gonna be managed as far as, if you have to enforce tags and stuff, that's my concern. So, and again, we're kind of to that point, we don't really know yet.
Yeah,
I mean,
and right now the tags are mostly sold online, so I think that we encourage anybody who comes into the park, and most people approach us, we don't have to say, hey, your tags aren't current. They come in, ask how to do it, we have the little
Yeah.
The
QR
state
code.
Just
tags.
online.
It's just a QR code, takes you right to the page, and you have a permit receipt on your phone, and then you have one comes to your house in the mail. But I think that for a trail permit, like it'd be the same exact way, they come in, any lodging, it's gonna add to TLT funds that come in for advertising. It improves our lodging places encourage, permitting, you know, it helps the area, it helps us maintain this area.
I think the biggest thing we have heard, again, there's such a majority that doesn't show up to meetings.
Well,
And I know, but we do hear from them, because the biggest concern was having to live in this community and now start paying just to ride for a day up there. And I mean, I like to see if you are actually a citizen here, that maybe you would have.
And that's something that can be just.
that's something you could
especially
stress,
with-
but that's kind of, everything's free and summer. Nothing's free
Nothing's free.
anywhere on earth.
I know,
Nothing's free.
but we already pay for it. I mean, what I'm just saying is,
Yeah.
if we're residents,
But what is the tag? It's $20 for 2 years.
you'd be surprised. This is, you know, you asked,
Yeah.
this was one of the concerns. We're paying, but we have all these people that are not citizens, yes, they should, you know, the community should benefit.
Okay, would they rather do that and pay an extra tag to ride local, or would they rather pay $20 and have to drive all the way over to Ukiah to ride with
I
everybody
don't,
else? That's, you know, And if they're not here, then I guess they don't care what happens.
But I mean,
That's my
this is the comments we've heard, because we have a lot of people that don't ride as much as, your groups. They aren't, their weekend go out and.
Yeah,
The biggest thing is we'll get out of ATVs, let's go to vehicles. You take your car, your license for the state of Oregon,
Mhm.
you can drive into any other state you want to. Our taxes go to plowing state highways. Everybody that comes out of Idaho, everybody that comes out of Washington gets to ride a free ticket.
Yeah.
Because
No,
they're
no,
not-
actually,
they don't have to
If they
pay.
buy gas, they're paying.
Well, the thing is though, and that's it, but other than that, their regular taxes aren't paying the plow.
Okay, well,
So now you go
then
back to the ATV.
I'm open to other suggestions on how to finance trail management.
So the thing is though,
Jason?
what I would like to know is, because I don't know. So when you go from Oregon and you go ride in Arizona, do you have to get an Arizona type?
I would imagine you do.
I'm
Some
heard
states
that,
are reciprocal. I think Oregon and Idaho, aren't they? Reciprocal?
No,
Arizona's not.
I know if you stay on the dirt roads, you can have an Oregon, you get any payment, you got an Idaho license.
Okay.
That was 2 years ago anyway.
Yeah, and a lot of those people are doing that, coming in our state, paying $20 for a weekend. So,
yeah, I just was wondering if they could raise it. Because if you can raise the fee $2 per deal
yeah,
to help pay for this. From the
if
eastern
the
side.
state will, but you know how greedy the state is right now. They want every dime you own. So I'm not looking forward to that till we get a different governor.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jason,
Jason Bybee out of Baker City. I wasn't gonna speak today, but I want to encourage the council. Sounds like right now we just kind of have a lump of clay. No offense. It's gonna mold and change
Right.
as it moves forward. If the council can support it now, things, you can always change that. But having that early support is gonna be important. And also, we have ridden in Moab and Arizona and I've traveled around and a lot of places do have two prices. You've got a resident tag and a out of state or out of resident tag.
Mhm.
So that could be something in the
That would
future that could be looked at. But having the support of the council, I think is gonna be really important.
Yeah.
And you can work out the details later on how people are
Oh,
gonna.
yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of workshops of what can we do on this?
Right.
What do you guys think about
But you
that?
just asked, what I was telling you what I.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just saying that,
I have to look at things just a little different.
well, that's true, but like I said, those are the details behind it and you gotta get started on this thing now, get it done in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah,
This is the main reason why Linda put this together, to bring you people in here. Because we as council, we represent the city of Sumter. And if we don't know what these people want, I can't come in here and vote for something and put in and support something that the citizens don't want to support. So therefore, that's our issue, and that's why we did what we did, and thank you all for coming. However, like Linda said too, I think a lot of this, John, needs to go to the merchants here in town.
where are they? Ron's the only one here and me and Justin and Jenny.
Yeah,
I
and you
know.
got Mike down there, and you
I'm
have
really
Dorothy right there.
appalled at that because this would help them incredibly. And you wanna know what'll help for the citizens? I would imagine this property value would go up a lot for if you had something like that here.
But that's
Your
why we gave
houses.
them a chance to come. I mean, this is the thing. That's why we did it on a Saturday, because they say, during the week. That's why we opened it, why
Yeah.
we're here on Saturday.
Yeah.
To let the naysayers and pro and con
So-
here.
Okay,
So,
wait,
Christina, or
yeah, you as the city council should be putting it out as a question to everybody in your community. That should be your next step, so that you know where your community stands, even if they didn't make it here today. So that's just what I can see as your next step forward.
Jenny.
I think what's most important is that we establish this so that we can protect our area for our children and our children's children.
yeah.
Like Justin's mentioned a few times, we're one of the last open forests left. And if we don't do something to protect it, our kids will not be able to do what we get to do. And I think that's I mean, there will be benefit to the businesses and
Yeah.
there will be hardship from all the extra people coming to town. But protecting our resource for the future generations is what's at stake.
I've heard some people, it's just what I've heard, it's not my personal feelings, that there are people that came to this town, they have invested money in their homes. They came because it was quiet and out of the way, and they do not want this to turn into another McCall or another big place. They've invested money, just like a business, in their home, they came for a lifestyle, and they want nothing to do with all of this, so those people need to speak up too.
Where are they?
Yeah. Right here.
Yeah.
Quality of life, I think, is very important to us, protecting that, protecting the quality of life here in Sumter. It's a quiet little town, and that's why we're here. I spent 10 years, 12 years living next door to a national recreation area, which this is not. But I seen the little town of Reedsport grow, and it just got to be terrible. I mean, you couldn't even go downtown during the weekend because of the traffic and stuff. And we don't want that, I don't think.
Yeah, that's fine, it's scary, that's your opinion, that's fine.
But on the flip side of that, monetarily,
Yeah.
the city has to survive.
That's right, absolutely.
Well,
I
that's the
mean, there's
thing,
gonna be nothing
yeah.
for the sewer to go down if there's
Absolutely,
revenue to
absolutely,
support
yeah.
the infrastructure.
So
So
these
that-
people
that-
come in, these people
Right.
don't come in and live here. They just
Hey, sure, eventually,
tear our forest up and leave.
eventually, this is what's gonna happen to this town. There won't be anyone living here.
Well,
It's just gonna be
looking at it
weekend
for 20
people,
plus years
and you're
now,
gonna be
that's
struggling.
changed A lot.
Okay,
It's gonna be weekend people and you're gonna be struggling to get somebody to do the maintenance in the town.
Well, I think you could put up with weekend, we're, given that, but,
Look what
day in,
happens,
day out-
okay.
Day in, day out kills you.
okay, one at a time.
Well,
Look what happens, just a minute, Ron. Look what happens on Trail Fest. Okay? Yeah, look what happens, and look what, on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's good, it's good.
Look what happens
I don't
on
have any
Wednesday.
I don't
What
have
happens
any
on Wednesday?
I don't have any problems with that.
Sleepy little thumper again.
Yeah. I don't have any problems with bringing them in for a weekend or two a year or whatever it
Yeah.
takes. But,
They're already
you're
coming.
around.
Yeah, but they're already coming. Dorothy's
Not nearly as many, we're.
Yeah.
They're here all summer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, Ron.
We got-
It's first, sorry.
Yeah.
I'd like to add to what Jenny said. I think the big picture here is keeping our forest open. I think that's the biggest part of it. I've been here for 56 years. Something really hasn't changed a lot in 56 years. So I'm willing to bet the next 50,
Yeah.
It's not gonna
You
change.
can only
not gonna
hope.
change a lot.
We can only hope.
But we need to keep our public lands open.
Dorothy, hang on, Dorothy.
I just want to add, in managing the motel, every large group that has came in, that are, run the trails, and small groups, every one of them made the offer, who can we volunteer in the town center? How can we volunteer?
Yeah, we get that.
How here's a fund, bunch of money. How can we support the town center?
And Mike,
And
go ahead.
not from this area at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep in mind, what John's trying to do is not add something new. It's just keeping it kind of the way it is, geographical area.
Keeping it up.
And here's the deal, Rich, I always want to.
Well, that's what I'm
I always
saying
want to
too.
call you Steve, but anyway, Steve, ATVs is the biggest use of the forest here. That's my tool. That's all it is. That's my tool to get this done, because you go up there and go, oh, I'm cutting firewood. I'm gonna tell you about firewood cut. When I'm down on that loader in that park, what am I doing? Looking at that highway, going back, looking at the highway, going forward, looking at the highway. I see almost everything that goes on in this town.
I live on Cracker
Comes
Street.
through. And when there's tamarack, loads of tamarack going out in October, nobody's getting wood. That shit's gone the first month of the season, with 20 years, 30 years, 40 years ago. But when you see it in October, nobody's cutting wood. That's a thing of the past. I mean, we all burn wood and stuff, but there's nobody cutting wood. It's not like
It's not against it, John. I'm not against it at all. I'm against
the true hustle bustle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oregon Dunes National Recreation Area.
yeah, that's no, hard no.
It's a mess. I mean, it's a.
Yeah, and they're killing
And
themselves.
property
like
values
Marcia
are
said.
going down because of.
They're killing themselves because they ride that you take, they ride 90 miles an hour right next to each
Will
other.
they do that on Cracker Creek?
That's
Road?
just, that's asking for, I guess they like wrecking.
Like I
But-
said, just remember, we're not changing anything.
Yeah.
No.
We're not changing, we're not adding anything, just trying to lock.
The only thing we'd be adding is a trail maintenance if we could get that far. But like I say, that's the dream. But this, I think we can get it done, And I know FAFA don't like it. John's been on the thing, whatever, I don't care. FAFA can do whatever FAFA wants.
Yeah.
I'm worried about this area right here, and I know they don't like that. Torque's already told me that, they don't like it. Torque and Wander are dear friends of ours, we love them. But we have a difference of opinion, we don't hate each other over it, we just have a different opinion, what's gonna happen here. And, it's just, I don't know, this is an area that's a big area, it's widely used, and is there any Hancock in it?
There isn't.
Huh? So it's just the Forest Service and whatever private lands, it's got quite, Kurt,
So I'm all for, I like this, if there's only 2 areas left. And the other area closes, and we are the only one
Yep.
left, are we gonna get 2 overran?
I can't answer that.
Is that gonna be
I would like to say that Sumter kind of has limited itself. It's within the forest itself. The lodging, the housing is kind of already established. There's really not much room to grow. That's why it's spread out towards Prairie City, towards Unity.
I mean,
Granted,
Unity could start up their own groups, or Unity could start up their own thing that could really help Unity. People go down there, oh, Sumter's too busy, I'm gonna go down there, and then they're riding clear down over here, we're clear over here,
Yeah,
So-
I just don't wanna see it.
There's more to it than Sumter, but Sumter's the biggest town in the area, all 200 of us,
Well, I think we're all in agreement that what we're trying to do is keep what we already have. The problem is that to be able to take this to the Forest Service, we have to have a reason. This would be the reason. This would be our argument. And that's what John's trying to do here. That's what I see from what I have heard and for what has been presented. Because we're not trying to change anything from history. We're trying to preserve what we have, but you just can't go to the US Forest Service, well, I don't want you to do this. You get public people, you get cities, counties, and everybody else involved, and they come back and says, well, we just want to do it right here. This is all we're concerned with. You can do whatever you want with the rest of the world, I don't care. And once again, because I've had these conversations with US Forest Service, and I have to bring them into reality every now and then, because they think they work for they work for the state of Oregon. And I have had this issue with them time and time again on the mining industry, because they do not work for the state. They are federal agency and a federal government protecting federal ground. The US Forest Service never used to have to do this other than logging. After logging died, the government had to say, well, we gotta find a home for you Forest Services. So this is what they did. Forest Service and BLM are the ones that used to run. BLM used to be the head. Forest Service came in on the aftermath because they had to create jobs for these people. And like I have said, this is not a state ordeal.
Yeah.
This is a government ordeal.
I would even ask the state of Oregon.
I mean, this is a government ordeal that has to stay on a government level.
Remember, this all falls under the heading of the Department of Agriculture.
Yeah.
They control so much of this stuff, and that's where the driving force is. That's why there's a big push on closing these last 2 open forests. And that's, much as you may not like that, that's what they've been trying to do, and they're so frustrated with misinformation, and they have provided misinformation before in the
They
past.
still are.
So, but they are trying to keep the forest.
Yes, they are.
And so it might, if you got different opinions, it might do them good to touch base with them and say, hey, can we get together?
John's against it. He already put that on Facebook
Did he?
last night.
Okay.
Don against it, and I said, we're not doing nothing, we're just trying to keep our area open, and oh, when you split off like that, or the court says they'll close all the roads around it, well, that's FOFA's job to keep them open, I guess, because FOFA doesn't support ATV use. I was told that point blank range from Billy Joe last summer, and to butt out. Don't tell me to butt out, I'm an American, that's my property, as much as anyone else in this room, so don't tell me to butt out.
Yeah.
So that ain't gonna happen.
It's interesting that they would say that, but I can't say yay or nay whether they or nay. Because that's what they seem to be, what they're trying to do, is keep the forest open.
I know.
Period, done.
I know.
So.
And like I said, wood cutting ain't the ticket anymore, it's ATV use, that's your tool, keep it up, because there's so much use of it everywhere. Everywhere.
Okay, is there any other?
One more comment. I'm not against it, John, not at all.
No, it's okay.
I just wanna make sure that it's managed properly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get.
Me
out of
too.
control, because that's what happened over there in Douglas County.
Yeah, me too. I'm not exactly hiking
Got out of
material
control.
anymore, you know, but I can get in a side by side and go up the top of the mountain and go over to the North Powder. But I will say, and I can say this now because it's the meeting's all 2 years old. It won't be ex parte. 2 years ago, Cracker Creek Mining came to the planning commission and wanted these two properties up there at Bourne. They owned everything around Bourne, all the mountains around Bourne, except for two pieces. The Forest Service traded them for those two pieces for land they'd already mined somewhere else, I don't know where. So they have these two pieces up there and they want to mine it. They want to go in directional drill, 1,500 feet, to leave a hole that big in the ground. If they find something, a big hole starting to go in there. The problem was our task as the planning commissioners, that property has a zoning, whatever, it's zoned forest. And forestry, whatever, only the Forest Service can have that designation. So ours was, is it gonna be mining or is it gonna be grazing? Well, everything around it's mining. Here comes all the attorneys and the help save the weeds in Hell's Canyon and blah, 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 and all attacking them. And they withdrew their thing. Well, now they're back. So, and they got a bigger outfit behind them. And I hope that happens. I really hope that happens up there. Is it? You think ATV boys can make this place busy? Wait till there's 200 miners going through town every day, because that's probably the number. You said 150?
Yeah, they're.
And this one right there, Rusty told me last night, they need 80. So we're looking at 250 people.
I'm hoping the price of gold goes down again.
Yeah.
Okay, is there any?
But anyway, so I'm prepared to fight those people if it takes. That's all I'm getting at. The lawyer from Fort can call and I don't care. I just.
So is there any other comments, questions for John at this point? I think we've kind of got a good idea of what the room thinks.
Yeah, run like that. Good meeting.
Okay, well, I appreciate you all coming and being forthright of what you think and everything. This helps. And I think it hopefully helps John some too. And you did put a sign up sheet,
Yeah,
there's a sheet out there. You want to sign in support of it?
And
As a
if
citizen.
you want, put your email address and I'll send this to you if you want.
Yeah.
We can start a little email thing if you want, where we can keep people in the loop of what's happening. So, Jim.
Just a question though, what's the, and they brought up here, what's the? Is there gonna be like a date where we're gonna get an answer from the?
Well, yeah, but
council? Like,
we can't make any decisions today.
I know, but are we gonna look at like, hey, you know, and how are we gonna go about doing it?
That's it.
Come in and sign the thing or mail something in or?
We have a sheet for you to sign today.
What I'm seeing everyone else in town or whatever, like, hey, this is gonna be our final conclusion date, we can have this.
I don't know,
kinda-
John, do you have a deadline that you need stuff?
The sooner the better, like I said, the clock's
So,
ticking.
yeah,
Well, like, she's going to Washington DC, like on the 8th or something, right?
State of Washington.
State of Washington, but having some sort of.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have letters where she can say, we've got a petition with 2,300 people, we've got letters from here. I've already talked to Dorn in Umatilla County, Commissioner Dorn, and I've talked to the commissioner in LeGrand, I don't know him, Don is gone now. And I've talked to, did you get a hold of the commissioner in Grant County?
No.
John?
No.
I called him, he never called back. But even Zane, the ranger over there, he don't want no closures. His family has two ranches down
We'll
there.
have to get, I mean, I don't know if Ronnie wants one in his business to
Yeah.
sign,
Yeah.
you know, and just get some and, you know, have it done this. Maybe through next week and get it done.
Takes us a while to mail out and
Yeah.
telling people in town they got 2 weeks to send something back might be a problem.
And half of them don't even pick up the mail, so it would be better off to put them like in the businesses for them to sign, just one. Not sign like here and then go to, you know, they need to just sign at one place. Yeah, you could do it.
And just one last
You just wanna
comment.
send out a thing that says I'm for it or I'm against it, and this is my name or whatever.
Yeah, but again, you know, if you send stuff out
Check the
in
box,
the mail,
turn it in.
it's a lot of people don't even pick up their mail on a routine basis around here.
So by getting the 8th date, I'm saying it might be tough.
We'd be better off to just circulate some stuff.
On that level, you might throw in there to please access, I think it's YouTube for this meeting and watch
Yeah,
it.
if it were.
And that'll provide. If you
Yeah.
can throw out a letter, are you favor this?
Well, we'll put out sheets of paper, we'll get some stuff and print it up here, I'll work on it tomorrow.
And we're on a budget and stamps cost 78 cents. So it's a lot of money.
Well, it's just, we know through other things that people don't pick up their mail on a routine
I got
basis.
78 cents.
Oh.
Like the mail.
We're gonna get on this, yeah.
A city website.
Yeah, well, we can put it on.
You got your email list, I don't know how many people on that.
Oh, it's, yeah, emergency.
That aren't
Yeah, I
from?
can't use it for emergency.
On the city website, there is a subscription that you can send out email and
Okay.
text alerts to
Is
everybody in
there,
town.
oh, you can use the text.
Oh, there you go.
Whoever signed up for it,
Yeah.
not everybody in town.
Yeah.
That's the emergency one though.
Yeah.
And we can't cross the line and make this an emergency text.
So I'm gonna say something here. This is for the future of the town. I hate to say it like this, but a lot of people have bitched and moan about me. What I'm doing, we came here to help the town. That's all we came here to do. But those people aren't even here anymore. Some will move, some will ain't here. So, you know, I'd like you to take that into consideration too.
Well, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
because this isn't gonna be done next week. It's gonna take a while to get it done.
Okay, but we'll work on a signature and I'll get it around to the different businesses, make up a form.
Okay.
So they have that.
Hey, John, before we stop, do you want to do a show of hands in support of this?
Yeah.
As an indicator?
I was thinking about that too. So how many hands are in support?
Majority,
It's like everybody.
yeah. Did everybody sign in? Did everybody sign in? Okay.
No.
So we know how many members of people are here. Okay, well, thank you. I will get it.
Yeah, thank you all for coming. I appreciate it.
So we're
Yeah, that was fun.
we're adjourned at 11:22.
Good, I got it.
I gotta get my tires down, get everybody down, get all.